Welcome to Career Avenue. For one to manage 3 companies and actually do well, it requires self-belief. Our guest today is Muteithia Mbaabu, who is an entrepreneur. Hello, Muteithia Mbaabu. Please give me a brief introduction about yourself and what you do.
So my name is Muteithia Mbaabu, commonly known as Tesh. I'm an entrepreneur in the technology space, and I run a company, Mesozi Group, which is actually a software company where we develop solutions to solve some of the challenges that businesses and consumers face in the African market.
Tell me about your education background.
I went to school in Ngong, and that's where I was brought up, to a school called Calvary Baptist Academy. And that was, I did from class 1, actually from nursery, all the way to class 8 in the same school. I was very playful in primary school, so I didn't study much, but I was successful. I came out with 334 marks. Then I went to another private school in Athi River called Muteithia Academy for my high school, which I did in between 2007 and 2010, and I became more serious at that point because I realized what I wanted to do with my life. And I think at Form 2, there's a point I went home for midterm, and my cousin introduced me to Facebook and Gmail because I had to open an email account to be able to create my Facebook account at that time. And I think that was the life-changing moment for me because these things really fascinated me. And I started thinking I always wanted to be an architect, a lawyer. I didn't know what I wanted to be up until that point. But from that day, I started researching on how these people were able to come up with this sort of innovation. And that's when I decided I wanted to study software engineering in my next stage. So I started it was a very opportune time because we were going into Form 3, and that's where you choose your subjects and all that. So
subject did you choose?
So at that point, I knew for sure I wanted to do software engineering and nothing to do with biology. As much as I was passing biology and whatnot, I dropped it. My teachers weren't happy because I was passing and they wanted me to do 3 sciences just because of that. But I was like, no, whatever I want to study, I don't need biology. So I did physics. I did very well in math. Actually, it's the only subject I got an A. Then I did chemistry, geography, art and design. So I've been a creative my whole life. I love design. So I studied art and design up to Form 4. Then I did business studies as well because I knew I also wanted to be an entrepreneur. My mom was an entrepreneur. She ran a law firm for a very long time, I think throughout my primary life. And I think subconsciously I was inspired by her lifestyle because she sort of had her own timings. I used to compare people who are employed and her, as much as she was very focused, because entrepreneurship needs focus, but she was sort of flexible. So I really admired that, and I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur because of that. Yeah, so fast forward, I got a B in Form 4, but did very well in the subjects that I needed to be able to pursue a degree in software engineering. I did very well in mathematics. I got an A in maths. I did well in physics, chemistry. So the sciences are what I really needed to get into computer science. Yeah, so I had to study computer science at the University of Nairobi. Yeah, Chiromo. So Yeah, that's what I did at campus. Right before entering campus, I had 1 year, and since I liked design and I had realized I like technology as well, so I thought about how I can merge those two interests. So I went and did a diploma in web design and graphic design at Graphics College, and then I realized that I had acquired a really interesting skill set that was needed in the marketplace. So I started selling my services at that point and making money, and that's when I registered my first company.
What was the first company that you formed?
About a few months after graduating and after completing, not after graduating high school, and after completing my diploma in graphic and web design, I realized the skill set that I had, and I decided to start my first company, which is Teshtech Limited. I was 18 at the time, and I knew that my career was going to be in technology. So I started doing it was a briefcase office where I would just look for clients through my networks, and then I go and meet them and tell them I can design your logo or your business card, I can design your website. And I got quite a number of clients, and I started making money before going into campus. So that was very interesting for me, and I realized that whatever you put your mind to do, you can achieve at that point. So this company, my father is actually a professor, so he's very into education. So if you tell him you want to study anything, he's willing to support. So I've had supportive parents. So first of all, I needed to get the skill. So you can self-teach graphic design and web design because we're in the information age, but they paid for my diploma in that at Graphics College. And then my dad bought me my first laptop right after finishing Form 4, when I told him that I wanted to do things in technology. I'm lucky because he was supportive and didn't start telling me to do other courses that I didn't want to do. So that was my first capital, the laptop, because that's all I needed to work. Yeah, and that's what I used to start generating income.
During your education time, was there anything, did you experience any challenging event, maybe financially, academically, or even spiritually?
Honestly, I had a very, how can I put it? I really enjoyed my childhood all through Form 4. The reason being, my parents were stable, and as I've always been adventurous and playful, so I loved soccer. I had a lot of fun through that period. So I wouldn't say I experienced any real challenges. It's just at the point when I knew what I wanted to do. Now I was in a better mindset to start working towards achieving my goals. Yeah, otherwise I was just laissez-faire, living life. I had everything I needed.
During your college, your university campus, did you think of something else? Did you think of doing something else?
School, in terms of my college degree, was my side hustle, because at that point I realized that I want to be running a business. And in fact, I remember one time that I went back home. I was in second year, and things weren't going really well in school. I think my college years were the hardest because of the education system, in that I had to really put in a lot of time and work to study, and some of the things I was studying, I didn't think they were helpful. They would help me in my career. But just being convinced and telling my parents that I wanted to drop out of college and just focus on business, because the business was doing really well. I'd set up a shop or an office in town, so most of my time, in fact, my college classmates always joke that I was never in class because I was always at the office trying to get clients, and that's really where I felt at home. So I didn't feel at home in school, and I felt a lot of pressure. Computer science is a really hard degree. The things that you learn, calculus, a lot of very complicated subjects. So I was very picky in the classes that I went to and whatnot, and that made me struggle. In fact, throughout my the 4 years in college, every year I had one supplementary exam because I didn't read much or as much as I needed to really pass my exams. And I got away with a second class honors, lower division, mainly because I didn't put my mind to it. But on the other hand, I made some huge strides in my business because that's where my effort was. Teshtech Technologies wasn't a software company. It was just a design agency where we'd use our creative skills to help people create their marketing collateral and things like that. But I knew I wanted to run a software company. So in second year, I met a good friend of mine who's now my business partner, called Collins. In second year, we were like, okay, now we have the right skills to set up a software company. So we registered Mesozi at that time with the aim of using technology and leveraging on technology to solve business challenges. So to date, we've done a couple of products, but all are tech-based businesses. So we go into the society and look at what the problems we can solve using technology, meaning mobile applications, software, and whatnot. And we build such solutions. So that is what we run to date.
This is Career Avenue. We are talking to Tesh of Mesozi Group. We are going for a break, but when we come back, he'll tell us about the meaning of Mesozi.
Education. Education is life. It's through education that we ensure that tomorrow's generation and the next is nurtured well, and that the environment they live in guarantees them a good future. Edu TV is at the very heart of this vision. Edu TV transmits educational content and entertainment programs as well all over Kenya, and this doesn't stop. Edu TV, the national educator.
Thank you for staying tuned. This is Career Avenue. We are talking to Tesh of Mesozi Group. So Tesh, what is the meaning of Mesozi?
My partner and I came up with the name Mesozi from the word Mesozoic. So Mesozoic era, for those who did history, is a period about 65 million ago when a lot of drastic changes were happening in the world of fauna. So realized that we're living the technology and the information age, and we're going into the data age. So Mesozi aims to be part of that change, to help people to be able to maximize their potential through using technology. So that's how we spin off the word Mesozoic to Mesozi.
Other than Mesozi, what else have you done till now?
First, Mesozi Group is a mother company to Cloud9 XP and MarketForce and other brands that are products in the marketplace, doing different things across different sectors, solving different challenges, but all leveraging on technology. So we have Cloud9 XP, which is an online marketplace for booking leisure experiences. So we realize that Africa has a wealth of leisure destinations, and tourism is one of the biggest revenue earners. So we thought, how can we help these destinations to harness their potential? So how we do this is we take their experiences, put them on an online platform, and allow both local and international tourists to find and book the best leisure activities to do across the continent. We also have MarketForce, which is a solution in the retail and distribution sector, where we help small kiosk owners, the dookers, to digitize their processes. The challenge they have with using pen and paper is without records, they can't get loans, they can't know how their business is performing and improve. So we help them automate their processes, and in the process they can be able to access working capital loans and better themselves. So those are some of the things we're doing now, and all this is because I went through computer science and studied that, and it's given me a good understanding of how to build technology solutions and implement them in the real world.
What is the drive for all this? Where did you get the drive for doing all these things?
One of the things that I've realized is I just see opportunities and I see ways of making things better. So I think just from what I have learned through school and my observation, I tend to see problems and think about what are the solutions that can solve these problems. And just from how things are running now, I realized pretty early that technology is an enabler, or it's something that can be used to solve very many challenges we're facing in society. You can see things like how M-Pesa makes it very easy to move money, or how Uber makes it easy for you to get transport. So we're using the same principles in different areas, like in tourism and in retail, to solve problems that exist in the African society now. And I think that's one thing I can urge young people, is to actually just be observant of what is happening in the world around them and how can they make the world a better place.
The Ministry of Education is rolling out the new curriculum, the competency-based curriculum. One of its main focus is nurturing learners' potential. How do you think this will benefit young people?
I've actually heard about the CBC, competency-based curriculum, and I really think it's a good thing because like from my experience, I really liked drawing and art from when I was really young, so I used to draw. Then going into high school, I was very happy to find art and design as a subject, and I furthered my skills. I even started painting and doing other things like mosaic and collage. And after graduating from high school, I went into a diploma in web design, where now I started intersecting my passion for technology with design skills, design elements, and to date, I am one of the chief product designers in the company, because I design the look and feel of the applications that we take to the market. Yeah, so I really like it. I think it would be great if this talent is harnessed and kids understand from a younger age what their talent is and how they can turn their talent into a career, because there's nothing as good as doing what you love and earning a living out of it. So it's a great initiative that the government has taken to introduce CBC, because like from what I went through, we just had a usual curriculum that we went through, and if you picked out your talents and used them, well and good. If you didn't, that's up to you. But with this new system, it's great that now students are being prompted and guided straight into what are their talents and what are their competencies, and this will help them to eventually be able to transition into something that is related to what they're good at.
You were awarded Top 25 Under 25 Entrepreneur, and just recently you won the Tech Preneuer of the Year award. What do you consider as your greatest achievements? Over
the last few years, what I'd consider as some of the greatest achievements is I started out business alone. I got a partner, and now I have a team of over 20 people. So that's the growth is really something that I consider an achievement. And over and above that, our products are in use by thousands of customers in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. So just seeing our products being used, something that we've designed and envisioned and taken to market and being adopted in the market, I find I'm really proud of that. Yeah. We've
talked about your businesses from Esozi till to you being a techpreneur of the year. So what other activities have you done or are you doing apart from that?
Outside entrepreneurship, outside business, I really like hanging out with family and friends. That's something I like. Then I've loved soccer. I used to play soccer. I've played soccer all my life. I still play soccer today to keep fit. And lastly, I'm an adrenaline junkie, and that's why we started one of the companies, Cloud9. I love to travel. I love to experience. I love adrenaline, to do crazy things. Yeah, that makes me happy. Yeah.
So what piece of advice do you have for young people outside there?
What I'd tell young people is to identify what they're good at. I think we've just talked about this. Know what their talent is, and look at how they can venture into a career that fits their interests. Because once you're doing something you love, then that's you can easily be able to grow and advance in it because of the passion and the resilience. So sometimes it doesn't even feel like you're working when you're actually doing something you love. Yeah.
Any last one?
My last word would be that once you figure out what you want to do with your life and with your career, just start and put everything you have into it. Be willing to sacrifice some fun in the process, because a lot of the youth get more engaged into fun activities and forget to balance the work aspect of things. And success is not easy. So the 1% of people who become really successful are the people who know how to balance, and even at times spend and focus more time on working on what they're doing, on their careers, rather than just having fun.
It was a pleasure meeting you, Mr. Muteithia. I know you have encouraged so many young people outside there. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Mbaabu, aka Tesh, is an example of a young, charismatic and hardworking entrepreneur, and his passion, which he nurtured day by day, made him become a top digital entrepreneur. It has been Career Avenue. Till next time, I've been your host, Wanjiru Kahama.